Good evening, everybody. Sorry about that. For some reason, the intro was not working tonight, but welcome to the stream, everybody. Tonight, we are going to have the CEO of Metamonkey AI on here with us. So let me know who's in here, if you guys can hear me or not. And this is a project I'm really excited about, guys. They seem to be doing everything a little bit differently than some other projects have done in the past. So I'm really excited about it. But we've got Augustin right here in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him in, and then we'll give it a few minutes. We'll kind of chat a little bit, and then we'll get going. Augustin, how are we doing tonight?
Hey, Alex. Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you. I'm excited. It's a project that I got into with, with the help of some other people, and started hearing about it. Started doing some of my own research, and man, I'm excited about it. So we'll just give it a couple minutes and let some more people funnel in, and then we'll get going.
Yeah, certainly.
Good, Tim. Thank you. And if you guys have any questions here, this stream is sponsored by Medimonkey, and I'm happy to be doing this with them. But if you guys have any questions, just chat them into the chat, and we'll get them answered. And like I said, we're going to do a deep dive into the token tonight, and I got a bunch of questions and things that I want to talk about. So we'll give it another few minutes, then we'll just jump right into it. Here we go. All right, we're getting close to, I don't know, about 8 or 10 people, so we'll jump right into it. Hey, Kruger. Funny. So I guess, Augustine, I just want to have you start by kind of introducing yourself and maybe give us some of your background. And I know you have a business, and maybe kind of go into that a little bit.
Yeah, certainly. Thanks for having me, Alex. I do appreciate the time to come and talk with you and your viewers. A little bit about myself. So I own, operate, CEO of a technology company. It's been around for 15 years. We work in several different verticals. AI is one of the main technologies that we work with. So in working in that industry and dealing with some of the technologies, a good friend of mine that I've known for many years came to me with the idea of the project, and he wanted me to bring some technology chops to the project. So we both sat down, talked about it, looked at it. We got really excited about it because some of the other partners we were able to engage with. So that's kind of how the genesis of Metamonkey AI came about.
Nice. So with the business that you have, what AI stuff do you guys do?
So we work in several different verticals. One is automotive. So we work with customer service. We work with customer evaluation. We work in hospitality. With hospitality, we work with accounting software, and we work with the back office and the processing of all the invoicing and everything else that goes into some of these large hotels. And then we also work in title insurance. Title needs to be checked when homes are being purchased and moved. We got to make sure that all the title information is correct. So it's just a lot of tedious, hard work that takes a long time. But it also takes some intelligence. It's more than just typical automation. So the AI gives you it's kind of the mimicking of the human brain. So the AI that I work with is, it's pretty typical AI of what's in the market today. But like all technologies, you have somewhere where it starts, and then you got somewhere where it leads, and then you got cutting edge. So obviously tomorrow's AI is going to be more cutting edge, I think, as we approach the metaverse, and it becomes, you know, what a lot of us picture it to be. The AI is definitely going to have to improve and be able to do a lot more than what it's capable of. So one of those areas is natural language processing, which is the way you and I would communicate as human beings to each other and just talk in normal conversations. You know, some of the AI tools that we use out there, Alexa and so forth, are capable of doing that, but then they also have certain limitations. So when you get into something like a metaverse scenario and it's not scripted and people have different styles of conversation, it's how do you hold that conversation? So we're looking at that. Another thing we're looking at is, okay, in order to get some amazing 3D quality graphics on a screen or on something like an Oculus device as we move forward, it's like, how do you take real life items? So if we wanted to do a realistic version of a metaverse, like how would we do that? So this is more of the cutting edge type of AI technology that we're talking about. And in order to get that type of technology, you know, it takes a lot of money, a lot of time, and some special people. We don't have the money and the time of some of these super big players in this industry, but we have partnered with some amazing people that have been funded, and they've done a lot of work in this area. And we've been fortunate enough to partner with them, and they've actually created technology that's very close to being delivered. And that's kind of how we put this project together, as we looked at what was already there and where we need to get it to market. So that's kind of how we put the project together.
That's awesome. I mean, to me, when I think of AI, I kind of think of one specific thing. And when you talk about using it in so many other applications, it kind of opens my eyes to how much bigger it is. But to bring it to the metaverse, I think, you know, when I heard Metamonkey AI, I'm like, well, so in the metaverse and token and NFTs, and I'm like, wow, this is going to be amazing. I mean, it's like you guys are bringing kind of everything that needs to come together to the metaverse, right? And it's going to be all in one project. And I thought that was amazing. And that's why I kind of, you know, when someone sent me the project to kind of look into, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And I started taking notes, and I'm like, okay, I got to a point where I'm like, I just got to talk to these guys because there's so much here, and I want to know more about all of this stuff. So I guess my next question is, how are you taking your business and everything and bringing it to the metaverse and crypto and all that stuff?
Yeah, so me personally, and experience in the business world, you know, experience is something that's very hard to teach. It's called experience because that's what you have to do to experience it. So being in the business world for 15 years and dealing with these technologies and understanding how business works, it's helped me to get me to this stage. Another thing that it's helped me to do is make relationships and make the type of collaborations you need to do to deliver something like this style of project. So it's a very big project. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of moving pieces. So to bring all that together is takes a little bit of work. So that's kind of from my personal experience side. Now, as far as the technology goes and what we're trying to deliver, is we have some technologies that are ready to go and come in right out of the gate. And then we have some other technologies that are really close, right around the corner. I'm talking, you know, a couple of months to several months away. So we want to deliver that right away and get things out there and get things moving in the direction. But we also have a long-term play in mind as well. We want to improve the underlying technologies that's going to grow the metaverse out. So we are going to deliver a metaverse to our investors and to also other people that are involved in business and other people that want to participate. Like, for example, the Meta Mall we're talking about. You might go shopping in there. So we do have those technologies we're going to deliver very quickly, but we want to work on the underlying technologies that's going to improve that over time and just accelerate the growth of the metaverse. But we want to work on.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, I think, like you said, experience is hard to come by. You know, you can't teach that to somebody. So bringing somebody in with the experience that you have, with the exactly what you're trying to do. Like, you're not just creating a token, you're bringing your real life experience and your business into it. And there's, more and more of that happening. I think more people are realizing kind of where we're going with crypto, with the metaverse and things like that. And, when we talk about what you guys are doing, it's, we talk about when COVID happened, right? We did this a lot, right? We didn't really go shopping. We didn't do a lot of these things. And what you guys are trying to do is just making that more widespread, right? And bringing it that way. So we'll roll right into that. The first, and what I want to point out, guys, what Augustin said is amazing. There's so many projects that come out, they do a pre-sale, they launch, you invest, and then this is what we're working on, right? And it's going to be 6 months. They're actually having things ready to go now. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the online offline wallet. That's going to be the first thing. And you'll have to let me know how soon after launch you guys think you're going to bring it out. But it is pretty much ready to go, right? And if you want to kind of tell us about it and maybe how quickly it'll come out after launch.
Yeah, so we're going to come out with it immediately. So it's going to be out before the end of the month, or right at the end of the month. So we're planning that to be out right at the end of the month. Most likely, we're going to have the Android version ready to go at the end of the month. And then the Apple version will be coming out shortly after that. It's not going to be that far away, maybe a few weeks at max. We've been working very diligently to do all the testing that needs to be done to bring this to market. But that wallet is ready, and it will be coming out. What's unique about this wallet, there's a lot of wallets out there. Do we really need another wallet? And that's a good question. This wallet is innovative because it does something that's different than any other wallet that's on the market. This wallet, you can do online. Obviously, everyone knows you can do online payments. But with our wallet, you can actually do offline payments. So this is going to come in very handy if you think about parts of the world that have connectivity issues. So this could be third world places. It could also be like maybe after a storm or something that knocks power out and knocks out communication. To have some kind of offline payment capability would be big. Also offline to have on a wallet. Do you need your crypto to be accessed 24/7 by anyone that might be trying to break into your wallet? Or would it be nice to just leave it offline except for when you need it? But one of the reasons this wallet was created was to consider third world situations where they don't always have the best connectivity. And then how does shopping work in those areas? So with our offline wallet, we have the mechanism in place where you can actually pay someone. So if you happen to be living, in a small town somewhere, and there's some street vendors, there's some small shops, and they've got a QR code there. You got Bluetooth between two phones. You got the NFC connections between phones where you can bump them together. But yeah, you could actually pay someone with our wallet using crypto to make a payment.
Yeah, and I think that's really awesome how you're making, like you said, there's so many wallets out there, but to make a wallet to pretty much make it so where you can use it anywhere in the world, because like you said, those countries where you don't have a lot of that reception or networking, they're kind of left high and dry with the current wallets we have. So I think that's awesome. And you said it's going to be, by the end of the month. So by the end of this month, in August.
This month. So yeah, we're about a week away from it being launched. So
I'm
hopefully,
thinking, go ahead.
I was going to say, hopefully we can hold up with our promise, but yeah, we're looking to launch it before this month ends. And it's just a testing. The wallet's there. Yeah. It's working. We're just trying to get it, as tight as we can and get it ready for the delivery.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. And I know it hinges on launch, right, of the token also.
Well, I think the pre-sale is going to happen before then. We're waiting for the CertiK audit to finish. We're at 84%. I guess we can talk about that in the few minutes, but yeah, I think the pre-sale will happen before the wallet comes out.
Okay, cool. So we'll just roll right into that. You said CertiK audit's ongoing, and guys, I know we've talked about this before, but this is one thing that one of the things I said at the beginning, where they're doing things a little bit differently, I feel like they've like maybe learned, whether they know it or not, from other projects, and when they're doing things differently. They're waiting for the CertiK audit to get done before they launch. There's tons of projects out there that just launch while they have ongoing CertiK audits, and or do them later. And this way, it checks all the boxes, right? You're getting all your security checks done. They're going to do Skynet, which is huge. It's constant monitoring of the contract. So get it done before they launch. And so, like you said, 84%, they were hoping to already have done pre-sale and going towards launch, because I think it's a good time right now. But hey, they're going to stick to their word. They're going to wait till CertiK's done, and then they'll do pre-sale. Now, my next question, I guess, is, have you guys decided on token supply? Because I know you guys had a supply in mind, and it talked about, hey, we're talking to some people, taking their advice, and have you guys narrowed that down yet?
Yeah, we definitely have. We've narrowed it down. And we've listened to a lot of people, right? And we've listened to a lot of people that are on the investment side. We've listened to people similar to yourself that, talking to people every day and have a show and have an audience, and they have a good feel of where people are at. So we have listened to them. We've also had other people we've consulted with on the business side of things, on the technical side of things. So we're trying to balance all that. I don't think we're ever going to come out with the perfect solution, just because a lot of people have a lot of different opinions. And investment is a thing that, some of it is science, some of it is art, some of it is gut. So, but I feel like we've made adjustments that a lot of people are probably going to like. So we have narrowed down on an amount. We're not going to, I'm not quite ready to make exactly all the tokenomics here today, just because we do want that CertiK audit to finish. It's painstaking. We're taking our steps with them slowly at a time. We do appreciate them being very thorough and making sure we have this locked down. But until we know exactly what we need to do to score the best in that, we just want to make sure that that when we announce it, there's no reason that could cause anything else for it to change.
Gotcha. And I think the days of the 10 zeros, 11 zero tokens are kind of behind us. Exchanges do like less zeros, less supply, and things like that. So I know that was one of the concerns, was a higher supply. And I know that was something you guys were working on. And another thing I want to point out too, everybody, is that they're taking advice from the community and from other, like I said, influencers, advisors through crypto. And so they're taking your ideas or your suggestions and your concerns, and they're actually putting them into the project, changing things, because if they've never done a token before, they're going to come in and think, hey, this is, I think this is the way we want to do it. And if someone says, hey, it'd be a good reason to change this because of this, and if they're listening to that, that's awesome, because it makes us feel like we're part of the team and the community matters. So that's huge. And so that, and then obviously pre-sale price will depict the token supply as well. And then will the pre-sale price be less than launch price, or will it be the same price?
Yeah, so we have made a decision on that. So the people that do get involved in our pre-sale are going to get a slightly discounted rate. They're going to get a little bit more tokens than you would if you waited for the launch.
Okay. And there won't be a whitelist, right? The pre-sale, you're just going to open it, it'll be a public pre-sale, and anybody can go in there and buy tokens.
That's correct.
Okay.
And we'll make the announcement, give everyone, 24 hours, 12 hours heads up. As soon as we get that CertiK approval, we'll put all the tokenomics out there on our website. I'll come out and try to talk to people and a couple of the media places that we have set up. So we'll make sure we get the information out there before you jump in.
Great. And I mean, do you know how long the pre-sale is going to be? A couple days, or?
Yeah, it's going to be a 7-day pre-sale, but we do have a cap on it. We've been fortunate. We've gotten a lot of buzz. There's been a lot of excitement about the project. I think justifiably so, just because it is a unique project compared to other people that have come out with tokens. So I don't know if it'll last the full 7 days. Some people have been telling me that, hey, it might only go a couple of days. I'm not too sure. We'll see. But yeah, it's 7 days. So once the 7 days are over, pre-sale will be done. But if we reach our cap, then it'll be done at that point as well.
Yeah, and I also want to point out, I kudos to you guys for the way that you're doing your presence. I mean, I think you guys are really throwing yourselves out there, in the way that you're doing marketing, and a lot of, if you don't get yourselves out there and get your name out there and the excitement for what you're doing, it's not going to work as well. I mean, you guys have been on Twitter Spaces. I mean, I want to point out the Telegram is growing like a weed. I mean, I'm in there every day. And I don't even know how many members there are. There was over 700, maybe even over 800 now. And it's only been open for, I mean, I've only known about this project for about a week or so. So it's growing exponentially. And it's reaching heights where there's some tokens that have been out for months that it's already at. And I think with the amount of stuff that you guys are doing, there's no reason why the excitement shouldn't be there. I mean, you guys are doing it, in my opinion, the right way. And it's great to see that, and I'm excited about it, and I know a lot of other YouTubers that I've talked to are also excited about it.
Yeah, and a lot of it is thanks to people like you, Alex, because you invite me on, let me talk about it a little bit. So we do want to talk about our project. We want to talk about the backing we have behind the project. We feel like we got a lot of exciting things going on. We have some really good ideas. So, and I think people also appreciate it because there really is something behind the project. It's not just a promise, but the type of partnerships we have and the type of technology that's already been developed, and what we're trying to do is just get it out into the market and deliver it and then grow it out. People I think are really understanding where we're coming from, how we got our hands on this type of technology, and what we're trying to do with it.
Yeah, I agree. So I just want to take a minute. Thank you, Taylor, so much for the super chat. I really, really appreciate it, guys. I want to thank everybody else for being here tonight, supporting me and Metamonkey AI. I really do think it's going to be great. Austin's in the house, Tim, Marty, Fan. So a lot of people in here. It's really great. I appreciate it, everybody. So we'll just keep on going along. As far as tokenomics go, I know they were on the website, and we'll just kind of finish up with tokenomics on the token. I'm trying to think. So is this still kind of what you guys are thinking?
Yes, that is the breakdown.
Okay, so it's going to be 3% to liquidity, 1% to marketing, 4% to AI tech, and then 2% to developer wallet.
Yeah.
So it's pretty normal, guys. I mean, it's 10%. Now, obviously, this is a question I like to ask people because I don't know. It's kind of is this subject to change at all, or do you guys think this?
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, we haven't touched the tokenomics because that's what we had originally planned, but we left it on there. We have changed certain parts of that, and it had to do with listening to the community. So yes, there are some things that are going to change, and as soon as we announce that will be put on there. But a portion of that is correct, and a portion of that is going to be a little different.
Yeah, and when we talk about projects that haven't launched yet, and you guys are kind of doing finishing touches on things, I think most people, I try and tell people it's real fluid, right? Everything's kind of up in the air. As things change, you'll let everybody know. You guys have been really upfront about everything you're doing thus far, so I don't have any reason to think that you guys aren't going to let people know as soon as possible when things change. And but tokenomics is one of those things where a lot of tokens will do a little bit higher on launch, just to kind of get things going, and that's, to me, that's pretty normal. And these, for what you guys are doing, I think they're pretty balanced out. 3% of liquidity obviously is really good. Just holds that floor, that liquidity floor, and so that's awesome. But guys, if you guys have any questions at all, please put them in the chat and we'll get them answered. All right, so I did have one more question about the wallet. In order to use the wallet, will there be a fee for it, or will it be free to everybody, or do you have to hold Medimonkey to use it?
Yeah, no, we want to make this accessible to everybody, so it is going to be free. We're going to let basically anyone that wants to download it and use it. We do want to spend marketing dollars in countries where we feel like we can get some traction with the wallet. The people that worked on this wallet, it's a very unique thing to them. And the PhD students that we had that built this wallet, they built it for a purpose. So we want to get it out in the market for the purpose they built it for. And I think it's going to do great for us because we want to get users on the wallet. We're working on putting our token behind the wallet. The goal is to have our token run the wallet. So we're working with the team to get our token inside that wallet to run it. And sometime in the near future, hopefully we'll be able to deliver that. So if we get the right amount of users out there in the right situation, and then we put our tokens inside that wallet, it's just, it's going to do wonders for everyone that's holding our tokens.
Yeah, I agree. And I think strictly the online offline part of it will be super intriguing to just about anybody, because when you just hear wallet, right? Crypto wallet, but to be able to offline, to me, is amazing. So it'll be really interesting to see how quickly I think the wallet is picked up by a lot of people. So that's what I'm personally excited for, especially so quick. I mean, like I said, I've waited so long on a lot of tokens. Like, okay, 3 months down the road, nothing's being developed, and they're not engaging with the community. So I think that's huge. Lock liquidity for 6 months, guys. Now, is this something you guys are going to lock on launch day, or are you going to wait?
No, it's going to be locked right out of presale.
Cool.
So it'll be locked right away. And if I can talk to that
yeah.
about that a little bit. I've had some people ask me, well, why aren't you guys locking it for a longer period and so forth? Here's the thing. We are releasing our wallet today. I'm just going to touch on a couple of tech, and then we'll come back and put a little more detail on it. But we have a functional NFT. This functional NFT can actually buy you real world goods and get it delivered to your home. We have a working metaverse that is working currently. We're bringing that metaverse to the market as a meta mall. So that means shops can set up their shops in there, and they can sell stuff in there. So we're going to be able to combine things like blockchain technology. We're going to be able to combine AI tech. We're going to combine metaverse, some quality 3D realistic graphics, and then put all that stuff together. And all of that is coming out, this month, 2-3 months, 4, 5, 6 months down the road. So we're delivering a lot of that. What we're trying to do is get all that stuff packaged and ready and delivered and tested and working the way we want it to work. And then from there, we have a lot of other plans of moving forward. So we've spent years and a lot of money and time. And when I say we, I'm talking about my partners as well as myself. And I'm talking about some partnerships we have outside of mmai. And hopefully we can touch on that in a little bit. But a lot of money and a lot of time has been invested in this. Now what we're doing is we're putting that final mile to get it delivered into, the community's hands. And that's one of the reasons why we came to the community. We figured it'll be a great way to bring a lot of excitement to our project, get a lot of eyes and ears on it before it comes out. So when it does come out, we've already done the groundwork and we've let people know that, hey, here's what we have.
Yeah, I totally agree. And a lot of people, when I see locked for 6 months, it doesn't really bother me. I think, things change so rapidly that who knows if that is needed for something. So, and then you can always relock it again. And I'm sure that's what'll happen if need be. But there is one question, and this actually was going to be one of my questions, and we'll just jump into NFTs. Do you really feel 1,000 NFTs is enough? So if you want to go into the NFTs, and then we'll answer this question kind of on the back end.
Yeah. So the 1,000 NFT has to do with investment in our company that has to do with profit share. Okay. So those 1,000 NFTs, we're going to have a couple of limitations there. You've got to own a certain amount of Metamonkey tokens, and you have to hold it for a certain period. So it's going to be 10 ETH worth of tokens, and you're going to have to hold it for at least 6 months. So this is something that's not going to come out till 6 months down the road. But if you qualify for those two things, when we do announce and we do finally go live with the Metamonkey NFTs, the investment NFTs, the way it's going to work is you can purchase the NFT. Only 1,000 will be minted. We'll figure out exactly what the specifics of those prices will be, but it'll be a profit share NFT. So if we did, let's say, $100 million in profit over a certain period of time, and when we split that up, what we're going to do is we're going to take 30% of our profit and share that with the community, and we're going to share it with them two ways. One is half of that is going to go to the NFT holders, so 15 million of that will be redistributed to our NFT holders, and then the other 15 million will be used to purchase our tokens, and we'll purchase them with the ETH, right? So we'll get Ethereum, buy the Ethereum, purchase the tokens, and then burn the tokens. So it's a true burning mechanism, but that's going to be tried with the NFTs. Now people are gonna hear me talk about functional NFTs. So that's something that's different. That's not on the investment side. That has to do with the mall that we're going to have, and people actually being able to use the NFT as a way of basically purchasing items and having it delivered to their house, and also having it tied to a NFT as well.
Okay, great. That's the way I understood it. You had to have so much Metamonkey to be able to qualify for it. Tim, I think it kind of depends on what happens with the project. Do we think it's going to be enough? It sounds like enough when you talk about how much you have to actually own, because 10 ETH to a lot of people is a lot. Some people might not be. So, who knows? I guess time will tell. With an unlaunched project, it's kind of hard to say. But let's jump right into the metaverse side of it then. We're kind of segueing right into everything perfectly. So as far as the metaverse goes, let me see, trying to see if there was pictures of that. Yeah, here. Okay, so yeah, go ahead. So the Metaverse Mall I think it's going to be awesome. So if you want to just jump right into that, I know there's kind of NFTs involved. That might be the confusion too, is we talk about NFTs, buying NFTs in the mall, and then you've got project NFTs kind of coming after that, or at the same time, or also. So if we want to just jump into that.
Yeah, so we do have a functional metaverse. It's been built out. It's been used for some things. It's been tested for other things. Some cool things are being built in it. Our first metaverse is going to be something that's going to be very realistic. So here's a version of our metaverse where we built out, if you're going to do a trade show, obviously with the whole COVID pandemic over the last couple of years, we built the ability for companies to do a trade show and to do it in this metaverse setting. So the Meta Mall is going to be built on top of this infrastructure that we already have built there. And it's going to allow for e-commerce businesses, okay, ones that already exist in the real world today that are selling items that want to be early adopters of the metaverse and of the Meta Mall. So we're going to be opening the doors for them to come in and be able to sell their goods. But, this is the metaverse. We're using crypto technology. We're using smart contracts. We're using tokens. So that's going to be tied in with it. And along with that is going to be our functional NFT. So, they can purchase an NFT. We have this as a functional product that's working for a Vine investment company in Korea, where people are buying investment wines. They're getting the NFTs. They don't have to take physical delivery of the wine because these are expensive, and they might just bought it for investment. They don't want it to be shipped and break. But if they wanted it shipped to their house and they wanted to drink it, they definitely could. But they would have ownership of it because they have that NFT. So that's something that's absolutely in play, that's working, that we've had out there for a while. So we're going to tie that to our malls. Now, with our malls, it doesn't have to be a $30,000 bottle of wine that your NFT is tied to. It could be baseball caps. It could be T-shirts. It could be, it could be something unique. It could be a physical art piece that you're going to get and you're going to get an NFT along with it. So there's a lot of different possibilities. We've thrown some ideas out there. We'll see how it, as other people come in, what ideas they have. But the cool thing about us is we have that functionality there. And when people have cool ideas, we'll work with them and see how we can make it work.
Yeah, and I have to say that the graphics on this is phenomenal. I mean, I think it's superb. So who do you guys have working on all between the metaverse, the wallet, all that stuff? Who do you guys have developing all this stuff?
Yeah, so this is kind of what's really cool about our project, and I think this is what got a lot of people excited about our project. So we were able to partner with 3 university laboratories in South Korea. For those of you, I'm sure a lot of the people listening and they'll watch the show later probably already know this, but I'm just going to say it anyway. South Korea is one of the hubs when it comes to technology. Yeah. If you look at, I mean, a good portion of the people watching this show, if they reach into their pocket, they probably have a Samsung phone. So South Korea is at the cutting edge. They're also at the cutting edge of blockchain technology. So we were fortunate to partner with 3 laboratories. All 3 of these labs are based in a university, a technical university in South Korea, and they work in a lot of the Web3 style environment. So they work in blockchain. They work in the metaverse. They work in deep learning. They work in edge computing. They work in middleware. They work in IoT technology. So, and all of these techs, is what's going to come together to really deliver the metaverse, to deliver crypto. So that's how a lot of this technology was developed. Now, these laboratories are all filled with professors that teach at the university, and they're filled with PhD students. So these are all students that are working on their PhD, and for them to get their PhD, they need to solve something that's unique, something that's new. Think of a new way of solving a problem, try to find a problem or a better solution than what's out there today. So that's what these guys do. So initially they start out with some theoretical ideas. They maybe explore things that are out there that they see some issues with or other industries have complained about. They'll do some theoretical studying on it, and then they'll put out a paper, and then after that paper they'll work on a solution on how they can do that. So in that process, that's where the offline online wallet came from. So that was a paper that our partners had put out there 2.5 years ago. So wow. They actually had this functioning wallet 2.5 years ago, but these laboratories we're working with, these are not industry people. These are people that are studying to go into academics. So they want to become professors, but they're solving these issues and problems that they see. So the MetaMall, idea, well, they already created a metaverse. So that was created by them. The functional NFT was created by them. So these are products that a lot of money and time have already gone into. There's been proof that it's working. So now we're taking that and we're bringing it to the private industry through this project. And that's why we're able to come to the table with already a lot of things that are already in place. What we're trying to do with the community is hey, raise some investment money, get some eyes on this, and then get these products ready and get them delivered in your hand as quickly as by the end of this month for the smart wallet and a few months down the road for the mall.
Yeah, and I know that was a big thing that people heard when hearing about this project was that education part of it, and I think that's awesome, and that's a great way for them to learn, get through their studies, and have something that's great to put out to the world as well. So I think that's awesome, and the fact that you guys can take this stuff and really use it and take your business and your expertise and your experience and put it with theirs. And boom. I think you guys have, the metaverse is so early that no one's doing this yet. And so you guys kind of have that corner of the market. And if it's done right and it works, man, it's going to be breaking, it's going to be great. So I just have one question on the mall portion of it. What will you use to buy inside the mall? Will it just be Metamonkey tokens, or do you guys have a future vision of bringing more crypto?
No, it'll be physical. Just think about going on Amazon or going on someone's website and looking at stuff that you want to buy and clicking, putting it into your cart and checking out and having it delivered to your house. So think about stuff like that. So one of the things, you know, we've thought about with like our functional NFTs, you know, in the world today, they're industries that are underserviced, right? So I've talked about this one before because I think it's a good example. Many states in the U.S., marijuana sales are legal, but they don't have payment processing. Like 99+% of legal marijuana shops selling legally do not have payment processing. It's done, you know, basically through cash because the traditional payment processors aren't going to do that. So one of the ideas of crypto is to have, you know, DeFi. Let's decentralize things. Let's give more power to the community. So if there is a community out there that's into marijuana shops and they feel like, hey, they want to support them, we're going to give them a technical way to make it happen using crypto and using blockchain technology.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now I have to ask before I forget, why monkey?
You know, we've had a few people ask this question, and it's actually one of the founding partners that came up with the name, and he had the brilliant idea. So, you know, the metaverse, I like to say the metaverse is here, but it's not here. Okay. It's here in a very, you know, just the beginning steps, right?
Yeah.
So if you think about evolution, right, things happen and eventually we got to like an ape type state and maybe we got to be human beings somewhere along the way, considering something like evolution. So the Metamonkey name is really a play on that. This is the early steps of what the metaverse is going to be. I don't know when the full promise of the metaverse is going to come. Hopefully it comes sooner rather than later, but it could be years down the road. It could be a decade or two down the road. It's hard to say. I'm hoping it's going to be quicker than that and we can accelerate some of that process. But it's an early step in the evolution of the metaverse.
Gotcha. Yep, and that makes sense when you explain it that way. You know, when people hear Metamonkey, they're like, really, what? You know, and I know a lot of people said that. Like, I told them like, hey, I'm, you know, Metamonkey, and they're like, seriously, what is that? That sounds like a terrible. And I'm like, no, seriously, you need to check it out, right? And I tell you what, from looking at this right here, if you're not excited about NFTs that are coming from something like this, you know, I'm super excited because I see NFTs that are starting to come out now and a company that's doing stuff like this, and I can't wait. I wish there was a preview of NFTs because I would love to see that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll tell you, Alex, you know, just to play a little bit on the name of the company, Metamonkey. So, you know, Meta's a Far East term, and it means beyond, but the true better definition of it is transcendent. So if you think about an early evolutionary step in the metaverse, so it's transcending a monkey, right, into an AI, into a higher level intelligence. So that's kind of like a 3-step process right there in the name, and that's kind of what's behind it. So, you know, we've thought a lot about what we're trying to deliver. We've also thought about some of the messaging behind it. Some of it is kind of, you know, it's under the covers. You don't really see it until maybe someone asks the right question.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man, no, I love it. I think it's something. It's so different to me and that's what I'm looking for. And I tell people this, and I'm gonna say it right now, is I invest in the team, right, in their work ethic, how hard they work, and I see in you guys what I see in other projects that I'm invested in, and I don't shill tokens. I don't cover projects continuously unless I have a good reason to. And you know, this is a project that I'm going to continue to cover, and because I'm confident. Thank you, Austin, very much, brother. I really appreciate it. And he's one of the reasons why. I mean, I've talked to Austin. I know you have too, a ton, and you know, I can hear when I talk to you on here, I can hear the passion, and you know what you're talking about, and that's what I want to hear. I want to hear the passion in it, and that's what I hear in this project, and I've heard it from other people when they talk about it. I mean, I have a feeling that this launch, when you guys do launch it, is going to be spectacular. I don't know what that's totally going to be like, but I just have a really good feeling about it. Now, one thing that I know a lot of people are going to look for, just rolling into the white paper. I know you guys are working on the white paper. Is that something you had talked about releasing before launch? Is that something that's still going to be able to come out to us before launch?
Yeah, we're getting close to releasing the white paper. There's a lot of technical parts of it. I think when it does come out, people will be impressed. We are putting a lot of time and effort into it. Um, I'm hoping to get it released before launch. That's our goal, but it's going to be hard for me to say that because I don't know exactly what date the launch is coming. But we're working really hard to get that finished.
Yeah. And was the white paper something that you guys started to do based on advice from some other people, or was that already in the works before?
It was in the works before.
Okay. Okay, great.
So when
Yeah,
we
I mean,
had
I think.
when we
Go
came
ahead.
up with the project, we kind of laid out what the white paper would be, um, and but just putting together that document just takes a little time.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I know doing a white paper for other projects is extensive and time consuming, but for something like this, it really does need to be done and done well. And I know you guys will bring that. But so many investors look for a white paper, and a lot of projects don't have it. But Andrew, welcome. Thank you very much. But yeah, so that's great. I look forward to seeing that. And let's see. So you guys had talked about exchanges, right? And you guys have exchanges lined up already, or is that something you're going to do once you launch?
Yeah, so we've done our pre-work with exchanges as much as we could do, but it's all pre-work. Um, but we're going to be very aggressive with exchanges. We've done our research, we've done our homework, we've got things ready. So as soon as we're able to, we're going to start going into exchanges. We're going to start putting in our application. We've got the money lined up um, for these exchanges. We've got the applications lined up. We've set aside what we need in order to get into the exchanges. So we're going to be very aggressive with them. Exchanges are one of these things, like once we hurry up and apply, then we just have to kind of sit and wait and work at their time and their pace. But early on, we're going to go after exchanges that we can get into. And then other exchanges are going to take some time, but we're going to be very aggressive with wherever we are in our stage, always trying to get into more exchanges and trying to get bigger exposure to the overall community.
Yeah, exchanges, like you said, they take their time. There's a lot of them out there. I would highly urge you guys to talk, and you may have, if you haven't already, talk to anybody that you trust that's been in the space for a while about exchanges, because there are some. When I'm involved in another project, and one exchange just hasn't worked out well as far as timing goes and what they're doing for the token. So if you I would highly recommend to ask about. There's some exchanges out there that just, I wouldn't say aren't worth it, but can definitely take more time and kind of like, might not be as good as some other ones. But exchanges, you're able to get the token out to different parts of the world, and I think that's one of the big things too. Is there's some exchanges they can only use it in this part of the world, and so getting the token out to as many people as possible is definitely.
Yeah, I'm
Good.
happy you brought that up because we're looking at this as a global project. I mean, our laboratories are in Korea. We've got a lot of developers that work in India. The core of the team is based out here in the US. There's people that have been associated with the laboratory that help build some of the projects that we're going to be delivering in the coming days and coming months, that are now professors at different universities in like Africa and some other countries. So it's very exciting for them to know that, hey, the project that they worked on is being delivered out there. So we really are a global, company, and we want to be that way. And this first thing we're bringing out does have that offline feature, which I think is going to be great for a lot of different parts of the world. So we're looking at those different markets, not just with our wallet and how we're going to get into the market with the wallet, but we are looking at certain markets out there that we want to be in with the exchanges. So that is something that's crossed our mind, and we have looked into it. And that's part of our plan of being aggressive with not just to get out there in as many exchanges as possible, but be a little strategic about which ones we're targeting and what access to the markets are we going to have with those exchanges.
Nice. Awesome. So this kind of ties into what we were talking about as far as exposure goes. Do you guys have a plan as far as marketing goes, influencers and things like that?
Yeah, we definitely do. We've been, we've put together, I think, a pretty good plan. And we're meeting some amazing people that are giving us some suggestions and helping us out. And then we're talking to some of the people we've met and have been talking about us, and we're asking them, hey, do you want to, help us be a part of the team, being an ambassador? So yeah, we do have a pretty good plan. And I think we're going to do a great job of, once we do get to the pre-sale and get to the launch, we're not going to stop with the marketing aspect of it, because this is just the beginning step. There's a long way to go from here to really deliver everything we want to do, and keeping the word going out there and getting more people to look at not just our token and invest in our token, but also to look at our technology and realize that, hey, we are going to have a meta mall. Like, you could put your shop in there, right? Partner with other guys that might be in the blockchain crypto world that's looking for maybe a functional NFT, and maybe we'll partner up with them and share some of our technology with them and help the community grow that way as well.
Yeah, and I'm very excited to be part of this, and I hope Austin knows that I appreciate him and everything he's doing too. I mean, he's just talking to everybody about it and putting it out there, and another influencer had sent it to me, like I said, and I looked into it and just love what's going on. So now, Austin, I think somebody had in the chat had asked if did I hear the wallet was being released now? So if you want to just touch on the time frame of the wallet again.
Yeah, so the wallet, we're going to have the Android version that's going to be released before the end of the month, and that might mean the very last day of the month. We're working very hard to get that release out there, but that's when that's going to happen. The iOS version of it, the Apple version, will be out shortly after that. We got a little bit more testing to do there, but it's not going to be that far along, maybe a few weeks after the Android. But yes, we're looking forward to launch this month. That doesn't mean today or tomorrow, but maybe by the last day of the month.
Awesome. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the token has to be launched, right? I mean, you guys might just release the wallet before.
Yeah, the wallet's going to come out first, and then we're working on some improvement plans and also injecting the token into the wallet to drive that and give the token some true functionality down the road.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Of course, I have Apple, so I'll have to wait a little bit extra time. I would say I'd love to buy an Android phone, but I'm not going to go out and do that. Just
yeah, so, it won't be too long, Alex. I promise.
I'm going to hold you to that. Okay, I'm going to watch this video again to make sure it's 2 or 3 weeks after. Okay. So this is kind of the last thing I want to talk about. We talked about you. If you want to kind of touch on the other two that are here, and kind of maybe tell us a little bit about them, maybe their background and what they're doing. Yep.
So you got Johan there in the middle, and Johan is awesome. He brings a lot of energy to our group, but he was instrumental in getting the genesis of this project going up, and he's a lot behind the website and putting together a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. So we talked about, hey, how are you going to get into some of these exchanges? So Johan's been instrumental working in there. Andrew is a long-term friend of mine. We go back many years, and he was a guy that I've known for a long time, and he's the one that came to me with the idea of the project. So the three of us got together and kind of put the genesis of the project together. When we first started talking, it was more of an idea than anything else. But as we talked some more and other things came together, because my thing was, okay, I do work in AI technology. I do have a pretty solid technical team, but can we deliver what needs to be delivered to go into a space like crypto, blockchain, metaverse? Even though I work in AI, the transcendent version of AI that you're going to need in the metaverse is a little bit beyond the functional AI that I have in some of these industries. So we were able to put those pieces together, and that's kind of how the core team came together.
Nice. Now, are you guys looking to add to the team at all, or do you have any vision of doing that later down the road?
Yeah, I mean, we're always, one thing I have learned, talking about my experience early on, one thing I have learned in business is you're always better when you're collaborating and you're partnering with people and you're open to ideas. So, there might be things that we haven't thought about. There might be things that we said, yeah, maybe not. But if someone approaches me again and wants to have that conversation, I'll listen. And I know our team will listen too, because we're excited about it. And if we can make things work out, we definitely will. So we are, we are looking to work with people. As far as what level we work with them and how it all works out, we'll see. But we're at least open to the conversation.
Yeah, and that's great. And I can't imagine that there hasn't been anybody that's contacted you about doing collabs. I'm sure there has been. You guys have a vision of doing collaboration with other projects as far as into your project?
Yeah, we definitely do. I think that's something we want to work on. It's right now our main thing is getting the few things that we have lined up and delivering those. But one of our midterm goal is being able to when we have our technologies, having it set up to where we can share it with other people, maybe through APIs, through other middle layers, um, to make something like that happen. So that's something that we're looking at, but there's some technical parts of that. Just depends on what the collaboration is. If it's on the technical side, there's some technical things we're gonna have to overcome. That's just gonna require some time for us to do it. But yeah, those are all things we've talked about and kind of have in our roadmap.
That's awesome. The roadmap was something else that I was just going to let you guys know. You need to check it out. It's pretty impressive. I mean, they haven't even launched yet, and they're halfway through phase one. As far as partnerships goes, they got a lot of partnerships. The certain audit's going to be done. So check it out. It's it's a pretty robust roadmap, and of course they got blockchain down here in phase 4. So it's looking really good. I'm really impressed with the stuff that they're doing. So definitely we got to say this: do your own research. More than what we've done here. Even look into these guys, find out what they're doing and what they've done in the past. I mean, it's not a bad idea to kind of see where they come from firsthand. So, as soon as pre-sales announced, they'll get it out to everybody, Telegram, Twitter, and all that stuff. So just keep an eye out for it. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I know with the way Telegram's growing, I can't imagine you guys aren't chomping at the bit to just get this thing going.
Honestly, we thought the pre-sale would happen last week. We didn't realize Certic was gonna take as long as it did, but we're committed to making sure we get that stuff done. So we're just we're getting impatient, but we're still patient enough to make sure we do things the right way.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one thing I love though is you're really gonna wait, and that's great. You're gonna stick to your word and you're gonna do it right. So that's great. Now they had a question: is Metamonkey planning to have an extended reality like other metaverse?
Yeah, definitely. So when we do come out with the white paper, you'll see us talking about the metaverse in there quite extensively, and we're gonna basically lay out 4 different styles or versions of the metaverse. So the white paper will go into that, but extended reality is definitely part of it. The first phase we're looking at the metal mall, so that's where our focus is going to be. But yes, we do want to look at other versions of it.
Yeah, and I think metaverse to me, it's still trying to wrap my head around that part of it, and then you throw extended reality into it, and it's crazy to think of where we're going and how early everybody is still to this whole idea. So I think it's going to be awesome. And you guys, as far as the mall goes, will you be able to use Oculus inside the mall?
Not anywhere near phase 1.
Okay.
I think we do want to go with for more of a long-term view, a fully immersive metaverse experience is what people are really picturing. So the technology definitely needs to get there. I will tell you this, that our laboratories do extensive work in IoT. So for those of your listeners that are not too familiar with the terminology, IoT stands for Internet of Things. That's where you take physical things in the world and you make them into, into the digital world, or vice versa, or some kind of combination. So Oculus is a perfect example of that. It's something you wear. It's a physical item, but it actually has some intelligence in there, and it delivers a metaverse type capability. Extended reality. So maybe you can wear glasses and you can be walking around France, and the tour guide you have, or maybe you're walking through a museum and the tour guide you have is the glasses you have on and a earbud in your ear that's telling you, like when you look at a certain picture, it's telling you like, hey, it was painted by this person in this year and this happened, and then it's giving you some imagery around the photos of maybe the person who painted it. So those are all IoT type devices. If you think about the gloves you're wearing when you're maybe participating in some video games, playing some video games, so those are sensors. There's way more than that to IoT, but this is something that our laboratories work extensively with. In fact, they do work for the Defense Department in Korea, and they do a lot of work with drones, and they do a lot of work with submarines. They do a lot of work in industry where robotic arms are building, huge robots. We're talking like the ones that would build cars. So we also have a lot of experience in that as well with our partners' labs.
Yeah.
So yes, I do think that some of this extended reality and some of the other stuff that we can do, we have a lot of disciplines in house, so we can kind of mix these disciplines together.
Man, it's amazing. The more you talk about the partnerships, the I guess the experience and everything, guys, that the partnerships bring to the table is amazing. I mean, there's not a lot of partnerships out there with other projects that I know that bring this much to it. And it's just crazy. As the more we talk about it, the more I'm just fascinated with everything that's going on. I mean, it's exciting to find this project when we have. So Sarah asks, is there a minimum of each time to buy and sell?
When we come out with the full tokenomics, we'll go into the full details of that. There's some probably details that need to be put into there, but for the pre-sale, there is going to be a minimum amount. It's minimal. It's like, you basically need to have that much just to get in. And then there's going to be some kind of limit in the pre-sale too. But once we get into the launch period, we're going to kind of try to minimize any kind of limitations.
Yeah. And Sarah, just, that's what the taxes are for too. Not only it's 10 in, 10 out, right? So if you're going to sell and you're going to sell a large amount, 10% is a lot. Okay. And that might not be that way forever, but when you're looking at I'm assuming she's talking about big whales who come and they pump and dump but that's a huge cost. And that should help part of that. But as far as when it's out, it's kind of hard to limit what people can buy and sell. I mean, it's their money. So, and you don't want to limit how much they buy. You want them to be able to buy as much as they want.
Yeah.
And sell, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, it's kind of it's a line. It's kind of one of those gray areas where, of course, you don't want people to sell, but that's just the name of the game. So it
is a careful line. I don't think there's any perfect way to do it, but I'm hoping that we came up with a plan that most people will appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's no, like you said earlier, there's no way to make everybody happier. And that portion of this business is never going to be perfect. So, even with regulation coming one of these days, I still don't think it's going to, completely take that away. It's always going to be there. So, you got a lot of money that unfortunately that's what happens. So let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, fan. All right, guys. Well, that's all I have. I'm going to go through the chat and make sure I didn't miss anything, but, again, guys, 85%. Yep. Certix at 85%. Hopefully that just kicks right up to 100% here in the next few days. That'd be nice.
We're hoping.
Yeah.
It might be quick. Who knows? Fingers crossed.
They do the 1% a day, I think, sometimes.
Oh my gosh, it's been like that for a few days, but I think they're gonna accelerate it quick.
Yeah, I think when you're at the forefront of the industry in that field, it's one of those things where the quality has to stay, right? Or they won't be that person anymore. So the minute that their quality goes down, if they're trying to cut corners and be quicker just because we want it to be quicker, if I were them, I'd stick to my guns. Like, look, we're gonna do it on our time. Okay, we're not doing it on the holder's time or the investor's time. And that's just the way. They're good at what they do, and we all trust that they're going to find or not find things. And there's no reason to rush it, guys. There really isn't. And so if they find a thing, they'll get them fixed, and then they'll get the token out. So, but there's so much to look forward to. So, and there may be stuff coming out before then. Let's see. Yep, I agree. Totally agree with you. 10% is fair. Yeah, I think 10%'s more than fair for what they're doing. Especially doing 4% back to the tech. I mean, I can't imagine what it costs to do some of this stuff, especially going forward to develop it. So I agree. 10% I think is more than fair as well.
Yeah. And really, the technology's really been paid for. We're trying to get it ready and bring it to market. So the 4% doesn't really come anywhere close to paying for the technology we have today. But what we're really doing with that 4% is, yes, it is going into the tech, but we're supporting the universities and we're helping the laboratories grow, and we're putting more students into those laboratories. So really, I think this is, one thing I do want people to understand about our partnership with these laboratories is we're investing in tomorrow's stuff today. So the stuff that we're bringing out today have been things I've been worked on for the last 3-4 years. And now it's all here and it's lined up, and we're just going to boom, 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 just start dropping it and try to get it out there and try to improve on it and try to learn from what we can. And then the second version we have coming out is going to be that much better. But as we give back to these universities and into the laboratories, and they can grow their PhD student list, they can bring more people in, they're already working on our tomorrow's technologies, right? So 2 years down the road, when we've gotten to a certain point where we're like, hey, this stuff is good, but what's next? Well, hold on, here it comes. We got something that we've been working on for a couple of years, and now I think it's getting ready to get to the market. So a lot of that investment is going to go back to our partners, and it's going to help us make sure that, we're not just going to come out with one thing and then just kind of sit there and be like, hey, well, we did deliver that, right?
Yep. And it kind of makes me feel like it's somewhat of a donationary token, but you're still here to make money, right? I mean, you still have to develop these things, but the fact that you're putting that money back into the education,
we plan on, a lot of the profit that the company makes itself, right? Beyond the investment in the technology with the tokens and so forth. But we've made a commitment to our partners, and they have some plans on growing the laboratory out, going into some third world countries that are underserved with technology. So we've made a commitment to them because they developed this technology, but they're on the academic side, so they're not taking advantage in the private sector. We're able to secure the licensing and do that for them, and then we're going to support them so they can still keep turning out some amazing minds and turning out some amazing technologies. And then once again, we're going to get access to those technologies and move forward.
Yep. And that's I know that's one of the portions of this where a lot of us were like, wow, that's awesome, supporting that portion of it. And are you guys doing patents on what you can for the tech?
Yes, we are. So a lot of the tech is pretty unique and special. So we can patent it, and we'll make those announcements as we get as we bring the things out and we're ready to make the announcements.
Awesome. So you'll make that available to everybody when the time comes.
Yes.
Great. Awesome. Well, I think that's all that I have. Does anybody else have any more questions before we let Augustin go? I know they're busy, so we're right about an hour and 10 minutes, and we covered a lot of stuff, and I can't wait until I can get on here and cover more stuff and give you guys updates about pre-sale and launch, and then just get the show on the road. I know a lot of people are excited. So is there anything else you want to say, Augustin, before we go?
You know what? Just thank you very much, Alex. I do appreciate you giving me the time. Thank you for the people that joined us live, and also the people I'll check it down later when you put it up on your channel. But I do appreciate everyone giving us the time, and we're looking forward to it. Hopefully soon we'll be in that pre-sale and launch.
Yep, it'll come sooner than we think. And I also want to thank Augustin for coming on, for supporting me, and everybody else in the chat that has come here to support me and this token. Don't mind her. That's my wife. Just ignore her. We could go over it later. But just, I really appreciate everybody coming, supporting me on this channel and this token. So watch out for more videos. Watch out for the pre-sale. And again, thank you everybody for coming, and we'll see you guys on the next